Good morning. Last class we learnt stress strain diagram for mild steel, and also we have seen the stress strain diagram for various material, namely high carbon steel, nickel carbon steel, mild steel, concrete, cast iron and aluminum. We also marked the salient points on the stress strain diagram for mild steel. Point O to B is designated as the linear portion obeys Hooke's law, and P is known as the proportional limit. A is designated as elastic limit point. Then B is upper yield point, C is lower yield point. The range CD is designated as the yield range. E is ultimate point or ultimate stress point. Lastly, F is the breaking stress point. And also we have seen the test specimen, mild steel specimen, which we use to conduct a tension test. There we marked the gauge length, reduced diameter portion, and marked it as the L, the distance between any 2 points on the specimen over which we are going to measure the changes in dimensions, namely length and diameter can be measured. Further, also in the below that the main specimen we have written the specimen and reduced diameter at the gauge portion, and that we have marked it as the neck portion or necking portion. Finally, below that one more the figure we have written now, that break portion of the that specimen we have joined like that in the form of cup and cone. Based on this concept, let us solve a numerical problem on based on stress strain diagram concept, and based on the data given obtained from the test conducted on mild steel. A tensile test was conducted on mild steel bar and the following data was obtained. Now let us write the given data one by one. Diameter of the bar, that is the original diameter, let us designate it as DO, we can call it as DO is equal to 18 millimeter. Next, gauge length of the bar, it is L0 is equal to 82 millimeter. Then load at proportional limit, loaded at point P, that proportional limit can also be called as a safe point, permissible point or allowable point. Let us designate it as PP. PP is equal to 75 kilonewton, and convert this into Newton. 75 into 10 power 3 Newton. Next, extension at the load of 62 kilonewton. So we apply gradually the loads. At every increment of load, we record the corresponding extension that during the tension test. And one such incremental load is 62 kilonewton. Corresponding to this 2 kilonewton load, the extension means change in length observed is 0.113 millimeter. That is delta L is equal to 0.113 millimeter, and the corresponding load is 62 kilonewton, that is equal to 62 into 10 power 3 Newton. Next, it is load at failure. When we reach point F, that is the failure point, and load corresponding to failure, it is called as PF or P suffix capital F is equal to 82 kilonewton, that is equal to 82 into 10 power 3 Newton. Final gauge length of the bar is equal to 106 millimeter. Given original gauge length as 82 millimeter and the final gauge length means so after completion of the test, if you join the failed specimen or break specimen like this with cup and cone arrangement itself, say this is the earlier marked point for measuring gauge length, and this is the final length after conduction of test. At the end of the test, this is the final gauge length of the bar at the end of the test or after test. Let us call this as a L. L is equal to 106 millimeter. Diameter of the bar at failure. When we can able to measure the final gauge length by joining or some of the change in length measured during the test, it will be same 106 millimeter. Similarly, diameter can be measured at the neck portion, that is at the time of failure. Then the diameter of the bar at failure, it is, let us call this as a D, is equal to 14 millimeter. Diameter at this neck portion. After formation of neck only, specimen will fail. After specimen failed, we can take the diameter here, and the diameter is equal to 14 mm. It is, you can see a reduced diameter. Originally diameter was 18 millimeter. Then at the end of the test, it is 14 millimeter. Then determine the Young's modulus. Asked to calculate Young's modulus. E is equal to question mark. Proportional limit. Proportional limit can also be called as elastic limit or permissible limit or allowable limit, and that corresponding limit can also be called as stress. We can call this as FP, we can call stress is designated as F and corresponding to that is as P. FP is equal to question mark. Then true breaking stress. True breaking stress FT, let us call this FT is equal to question mark. Percentage elongation. Percentage elongation is equal to question mark, and lastly percentage reduction in cross sectional area. Is equal to question mark. Problem looks lengthy, but if you understand the concept, it is very easy. Given sufficient data and asked to calculate sufficient unknowns. So all these unknowns can be calculated knowing the concept. Now let us calculate the one by one. To calculate Young's modulus stress at proportional limit, then stress at failure point is true breaking stress. We need cross sectional areas. Hence, let us, and even to calculate a percentage reduction in area, we need cross sectional area. Here it is percentage of elongation can be calculated by using the original length and final length. Since area is required, both original cross sectional area and final cross sectional area, let us calculate original and final cross sectional area first. Original cross sectional area A naught is equal to pi d naught square divided by 4, that is equal to pi into d naught is 18 square, that divided by 4, it gives us 254.46 millimeter square. Then final cross sectional area A is equal to pi d square divided by 4, that is equal to pi into final cross sectional area is nothing but diameter of the, we have to use diameter of the bar at failure, pi into 14 square divided by 4, that gives us 153.93 millimeter square. See the the change in diameter, cross sectional area. Originally it was 254.46 millimeter. Because of this applied load, tensile load, there is a reduction in cross sectional area. And already we have seen then because of the applied tensile load, there is increase in the length of the specimen from 82 millimeter to 106 millimeter. Next, let us calculate these unknown quantities one by one. We have delta L is equal to PL by AE. So we want Young's modulus. Here carefully you have to use the values. Change in length we know, area we know. So this area should be original cross sectional area. Only at the breaking point we use final cross sectional area, and other than that point at all the places we use original cross sectional area only. So this A0 becomes A0, and the P here is nothing but P only. Corresponding to this 62 kilonewton load, there is extension of 0.113 millimeter. So delta L is equal to 0.113 millimeter, then P is equal to 62 into 10 power 3, and A is equal to A0. That is delta L is equal to P into L is again L0. L0 divided by A0 into E. We want Young's modulus, therefore E is equal to P into L0 divided by A0 into delta L. If you substitute these values, P is equal to 62 into 10 power 3, L0 is equal to 82 millimeters, divided by A0 is 254.46 into change in length delta L is equal to 0.113. Solving this, you will get Young's modulus as 176.81 into 10 power 3 Newton per millimeter square. So unit of Young's modulus is same as that of direct stress, Newton per millimeter square. Next, calculate the proportional limit. Proportional limit is nothing but stress at proportional limit. Next, stress at proportional limit. That is Fp is equal to, so load we know, load at the proportional limit. Load at proportional limit is 75 kilonewton, and the original cross sectional area is A0 is equal to Pp divided by A0. That is equal to Pp is 75 into 10 power 3. That divided by A0 is 254.46. Solving this, you will get 0.29 into 10 power 3 Newton per millimeter square. It is asked to calculate true breaking stress. Again we discussed in the last class that stress at a breaking point at point F on the stress strain diagram is relatively smaller than point E, that is ultimate point. That is because load required to fail the specimen at point at the time of failure is less when compared to the ultimate point. That is, this is because formation of neck. Here we can calculate two values of stress. One is by using original cross-sectional area, other one is by using the final cross-sectional area. If you use the original cross-sectional area, it is an apparent stress, and if we use the final cross-sectional area, it will be a true stress. Next, true breaking stress. That is Ft is equal to loaded failure Pf divided by A, the final cross-sectional area. That is equal to loaded failure is given as 82 kilonewton, 82 into 10 power 3, that divided by, so final cross-sectional area is 153.93. Solving this, you will get true breaking stress 0.53 into 10 power 3 Newton per millimeter square. Next, it is percentage elongation. Percentage elongation is equal to L minus L naught, that divided by L naught into 100, where L is equal to final gauge length, L naught is equal to original gauge length, and L naught is again original gauge length multiplied by 100. That is equal to L is 106 minus 82, that divided by 82 multiplied by 100 is equal to 29.26%. Lastly, percentage reduction in cross-sectional area is equal to A minus A naught minus A, that divided by A naught. So, original cross-sectional area is more than the final cross-sectional area, minus A again divided by A naught multiplied by 100 is equal to A naught is 254.46 minus A is 153.93, that divided by 254.46, that is equal to 39.5%. So, this is purely concept based. Based on that, to solve the problem, we need to know about the stress strain diagram, and also we should have idea about the tension test and the various the limits. Here points to be remembered here is you have to use cross-sectional area judiciously, and also you have to use load again carefully. To calculate Young's modulus, there are 3 loads here, confusing, 75 kilonewton, 82 kilonewton, and one more is 62 kilonewton. So, carefully this 0.113 corresponds to 62 kilonewton. Carefully you have to use to calculate, and again here original cross sectional area to be used, except at the failure point. If it is asked to calculate true breaking stress, we need to use final cross sectional area. Even otherwise also, if simply it is asked to calculate the breaking stress, it is better let us calculate both the stresses. First one is apparent breaking stress. Apparent breaking stress is equal to load at breaking point or failure point divided by original cross sectional area. Next one is true breaking stress is equal to again load at failure divided by final cross sectional area. So, like this we can solve the problem. Let us consider one more numerical problem on the stress strain diagram. A steel bar of 20 millimeter diameter is subjected to tensile test tensile or tension test, tensile or tension test, comma, determine number 1 stress, number 2 strain, next number 3 Young's modulus, and number 4 percentage elongation from the following data. Gauge length is equal to 200 millimeter. Extension at a load of 100 kilonewton is 1.140 millimeter. Total extension is equal to 50 millimeter. Next line, also determine the percentage decrease in area if the diameter of the rod at failure is 16 millimeter. Further, determine the ultimate load if ultimate stress of the material is 600 Newton per millimeter square. Let us understand the problem first, then we can write the given data and solve the problem. A steel bar of 20 millimeter diameter it is D naught is equal to 20 millimeter is subjected to tension test. For this, asked to determine stress, strain, Young's modulus and percentage of elongation. Let us write as it is. F is equal to question mark, stress F is equal to question mark, strain A small e is equal to question mark, Young's modulus capital E is equal to question mark, then percentage of elongation is equal to question mark. From the following data, again given gauge length L0 is equal to 200 millimeter, extension at a load of 100 kilonewton is 1.140 millimeter, delta L is equal to 1.140 millimeter, and the corresponding load, let us call this as, there are no other loads except this P, we can retain it as it is. P is equal to 100 kilonewton, 100 into 10 power 3 Newton. Total extension is equal to 50 millimeter. Let us write like that only. Total extension is equal to 50 millimeter. Then asked to calculate percentage reduction in area, percentage decrease in area, area is equal to question mark. If the diameter of the rod at failure is 16 millimeter, then D is equal to 16 millimeter. Further, determine the ultimate load if the ultimate stress of the material is 600 Newton per millimeter square. Ultimate load, let us designate it as PU, P suffix U is equal to question mark, and the ultimate stress of the material can designate it as FU is equal to 600 Newton per millimeter square. As it is, we have written the given data stated in the problem, so that it is convenient to us for calculation purpose. Asked to calculate stress, strain, Young's modulus, then percentage of elongation, then percentage of reduction in cross section area or decrease in cross section area, then the ultimate load. To calculate here to stress and ultimate load, we need the cross sectional area. We also need the final cross sectional area, both original cross sectional area and final cross sectional area. Let us calculate original and final cross sectional area. In the problem, it is given that the total elongation or total extension is 50 millimeter. The original gauge length is 200 millimeter. So this is not final gauge length, it is total extension. So the final gauge length of the specimen is equal to original gauge length plus total extension. That is the extra concept here. The final gauge length is equal to L0 plus total extension, that is equal to 250 millimeter. So original cross sectional area A0 is equal to pi D0 square divided by 4. Pi into D0 is 20 square divided by 4, that is equal to 314.15 millimeter square. Then final cross sectional area A is equal to pi D square divided by 4, that is equal to pi into D square, capital the final diameter of the specimen is equal to 16 millimeter. 16 square divided by 4, that is equal to 201.06 millimeter. Here itself you can calculate that final gauge length. Final gauge length L is equal to L naught plus total extension. That is equal to original gauge length is 200 millimeter plus 50, that is equal to 250 millimeter. Now let us calculate the unknown values or required value one by one. First one, direct stress or stress. Direct stress F is equal to, we have the value, given values are only P. Under this applied load 100 kilonewton, the measured extension is 1.140 millimeter. Let us calculate the stress corresponding to that applied load. So F is equal to P divided by original cross sectional area A naught, that is equal to 100 into 10 power 3 divided by A naught is 314.15 is equal to 318.31 Newton per millimeter square. It is asked to calculate the strain. Strain, unless specified, it is considered as a longitudinal strain. That longitudinal strain can be calculated by using changing the change in dimension, means change in length divided by the original length. Strain E is equal to delta L divided by L naught, that is equal to, here given delta L corresponding to load 100 kilonewton is 0.140 millimeter and the gauge length is 200 millimeter. That is equal to 7 in 10 power minus 400, is a unit less. Next it is Young's modulus. So we can calculate Young's modulus in two ways, using the general expression for change in length delta L is equal to PL by AE, or directly we can calculate Young's modulus by using the calculated stress and strain. So let us calculate Young's modulus by using the calculated stress and strain. So Young's modulus E is equal to stress divided by strain. Here obtained stress is 318.131 divided by 7 into 10 power minus 4, that is equal to 454.72 into 10 power 3 Newton per millimeter square. So we got the highest value of Young's modulus, 454.72 in 10 power 3 Newton per millimeter square. We already stated that for a structural steel, the Young's modulus of steel is about 200 GPa. So this value indicates it is an irrelevant value, that is mainly because of the recorded value. We can write, if you are so confident that you can write it as irrelevant value. Next, you should be cautious about Young's modulus. If they mention it is a steel or a mild steel or structural steel, if in the absence of Young's modulus, we should be able to assume that value about 200 GPa, means 200 in 10 power 3 Newton per millimeter square. By assuming that value suitably, we can write that it is assumed value is 200 GPa or 210 GPa or 205 GPa, something like that. Next, percentage of elongation. Percentage of elongation is equal to L minus L naught divided by L naught multiplied by 100, that is equal to, L is 250 millimeter minus 200, that divided by 200 into 100 is equal to 25%. Next, it is also asked to calculate percentage decrease in area. Percentage decrease in area is equal to A naught minus A, that divided by A naught multiplied by 100. So we have A naught is equal to 314.15 minus A 201.06, that divided by 314.15 multiplied by 100 gives us 35.99%. Next, asked to calculate the ultimate load of the material, given that ultimate stress as 600 Newton per millimeter square. Lastly, we have ultimate stress, Fu is equal to ultimate load divided by original cross sectional area A naught. So knowing the stress at ultimate point and the original cross sectional area, we can calculate the ultimate load. Therefore, ultimate load Pu is equal to Fu into A naught, that is equal to ultimate stress is given as 600 into A naught is 314.15, that is equal to 188.4 into 10 power 3 Newton. So likewise, you can solve any type of problem. First thing required is we need to understand the problem, and we should have the idea about the various salient points and corresponding relations. Here, using load cross sectional area corresponding to the points are very important. So original length, final length, original cross sectional area, final cross sectional area, and the change in length corresponding to load. Of course, in this problem only one load is given, and corresponding to this load only we calculated the direct stress, then Young's modulus, and even strain also. So for more problems, you can refer our the notes provided in the website. And also we can discuss if there are any doubts.